News Channel 5 network, this is MorningLine with Nick Barris.
Good morning and welcome to MorningLine. You're watching News Channel 5 Plus. I'm Matthew Torres. Today we're talking about the events that transpired yesterday, what could be described as a tumultuous day for the city of Nashville. A pretty packed one, knowing Megan Barry resigned as mayor following the guilty plea on the theft charge, including her bodyguard, former bodyguard, whom she had an affair, and that is Rob Forrest. And later in that day, David Briley took on the position as the 8th mayor of Nashville. And to talk to us about this topic, I know a lot of people still have a lot of things to say and even questions. We have council members at large, Jim Shulman to my left and Bob Mendes. Thank you guys so much for being here today. We will also have Phil Williams, our chief investigative reporter, who really blew this out there with the exclusive interview with Megan Barry last month with the confession of the affair. So we will have him later in the program. But I talk about a tumultuous day because it really was just a change of events so quickly within 12 hours. Here's what happened.
Megan Barry's final day as the mayor of Nashville began inside a criminal courtroom. The city's first female mayor became the city's first mayor to plead guilty to a felony. She shot one final look at District Attorney Glenn Funk, who charged her with theft of property.
Guilty.
She kept that smile as she was booked by Metro Police. Her tone, though, quickly changed at City Hall. Before reporters just after 10 a.m. came the resignation so many have been calling for since news of the affair with her bodyguard first broke.
Well, my time today as your mayor concludes. My unwavering love and sincere affection for this wonderful city and its great people will never come to an end.
This was not an easy day for Megan Barry, and it was not an easy day for her staff.
And it has been the privilege of my entire professional life to have had the blessing and the opportunity to be your mayor.
A hand-delivered letter to Vice Mayor David Briley made it official. March 6, 2018. I hereby resign the office of Metropolitan County Mayor effective as of 5 p.m. Perhaps the hardest sentence Megan Barry will ever have to write.
And I sincerely hope and believe that my own actions will not tarnish or otherwise detract from all of the great work that they do.
Megan Barry made history as the city's first female mayor. Her resignation today will no doubt be historic as well.
God bless this wonderful city. I love you, Nashville.
And that was reporter Chris Conti with that report. Guys, first off, when you see her in that press conference, what goes through your mind 24 hours later now?
I'm still trying to recover from it all. You talked about what a day it was. It's really been quite a month, just trying to deal with it, trying to figure out what was going to happen. But, it's like one of those moments that you're just living through and you're going like, is this really happening? And then we had a council meeting last night. I think most of us were on that thing where we were just trying to get through the day, trying to see what was happening, trying to understand it, and then get to the council meeting last night. And
to think about it, again, all of this right before that council meeting, which still went on with the normal agenda. For you, Bob, what's running through your mind?
It's a crazy combination of feelings. On the one hand, there's profound disappointment in the mayor and in where we found ourselves over the last 5-6 weeks. But then, the council meeting last night reminded us all that, hey, there's a big city to run, and if you're going to pick a city to be in the U.S., Nashville is it. And so there's this strange combination of disappointment, wanting to understand what happened, but still excitement for the future, and just having the mix of those things going on, as Jim said, is it's hard to process, definitely.
Any of you have been able to speak with the mayor?
With Mayor Briley?
Excuse me, Megan Barry.
Megan Barry.
Something that, of course, will be an adjustment. I don't know for you guys.
Well, yeah, we're still trying to get the names right. So I have not, no, I have not talked to Mayor Barry.
I haven't spoken to the mayor since the news broke about this 6 weeks ago.
And so with Barry, we want to note that she was placed under 3-year probation as part of the guilty plea. She pled guilty to theft of property over $10,000, and she doesn't necessarily have the title of convicted felon. So she goes through the probation and she completes it with no problems, then she is able to expunge it from her records, so completely wipe it out of her records. And that is the same thing with the bodyguard, former bodyguard, Sergeant Rob Forrest, too. But his is he has to pay back $45,000 in restitution, which is increased pay. For her, it's $11,000. And this is the taxpayers' money. Knowing that the TBI investigation really helped push this, did you expect this? Did you expect her to resign?
I mean, my sense for several weeks has been yes. You know, the media, multiple media outlets have done an incredible job in exercising all of our First Amendment rights in driving this story. There's no getting around that, and you know, we should all thank the press for that, honestly. And just what we've seen in the press reports have indicated that government money was used. I think even the mayor in one of her statements said that she was willing to pay some money back, and that's, you know, it's hard to survive in office with that situation.
And we've been told that she paid the $11,000 already in restitution. Jim, for you, did you want her to resign?
I think it had to happen. You know, it just kept building on itself. As I think we would both say, there's a lot of things going on. We have a transit vote coming up. I know we've all been working on affordable housing. We have a budget that is, you know, that is due by the end of June. Because we just sort of got stuck. We weren't moving forward. We just kind of got stuck in this thing, and then obviously new information kept coming out, and I think it just had to happen for the benefit of the city. It was time to get this part over with and then start moving ahead. Did
any of you know what was going to happen yesterday prior?
I didn't.
You know, I think we both heard rumors. Mm-hmm. You know, there were rumors going on for the last couple of weeks. You know, she might step down this week, she might step down next week, she might not step down. So I just tell you, it made it really stressful because we weren't sure what was going to happen. You know,
every day was an adventure.
I think we all kept our phones next to us in case we got a call that said that we needed to show up. But I'd heard rumors Monday. Mm-hmm. But I didn't believe it until yesterday.
You mentioned the big ticket items. Of course, we had the May election, the transit vote. How do you think this affects those big agendas?
You know, I'll start and then Bob can conclude. I think there was a tremendous amount of momentum on the transit issue, whether you were for it or against it. There was so much talk about it. And then it just subsided. I mean, this thing got in front of it. And I know they're still out there working on this stuff, but transit is so important. Whether you like this plan or not, we've got to do something about it. But nobody's talking about it right now.
Yeah, I would agree. The reality is that a big part of the transit push, the marketing for it, was relying on trusting the mayor. That was the express message, was yes, there's questions, yes, there's a lot of dollars, but trust me, I got it. And when this came up, I think that necessarily took some wind out of the sails. Now, I think any damage that's been done to it was already done several weeks ago. I'm not sure whether yesterday makes a difference. If anything, I think yesterday helps the conversation actually get back on the referendum and the idea of transit and off of Megan Barry.
All right, council members, they'll be sticking around with us for the next hour. So if you do have any questions, we will be answering the lines. We'll have more on this topic as Morning Line continues after the break.
Blair.